Alright, so hello everybody. I was actually how my name is William, and he calls to coming now as Duke, or when I play my Unreal games, or William is my Mandarin name. Now today's video is called discussing about the Annihilation franchise. Yeah, Annihilation. I'll talk about the Unreal franchise later, but I want to talk about the Annihilation one. It's because I've been playing Annihilation, well, just for a few years or so. I think I started Annihilation. I think I started playing Annihilation. I think somewhere around maybe around 2008 when I was like about 14 years old. Yeah, yeah, that's probably sound about right. Yeah, right around there. But and then after that, later on, I started Annihilation and Kingdoms. There are two games in the Annihilation franchise, just two, and I want to get to all of them. So, here are the books. And I also have this Battle Tactics book. Yeah. So, yeah, ask me right, what is Annihilation? Well, I have the Annihilation game right here. Yeah, it's right here. And I have Annihilation and Kingdoms right here. And I have that Annihilation here, and I have Annihilation and Kingdoms right here. And here's I have the switcher for other campaigns here. So that's where I have Annihilation. So I play it once in a while though. I don't play it very much. But it's an old game, though. Yeah, but it is. But Total Annihilation is an old game. It's made in 1997. It's made by Tag Dog Entertainment. So. And then its spin-off, Annihilation and Kingdoms, it came out in 1999. So, all right. So we need to talk about this one. So this is Annihilation right here. So I have a book about it. See, so this one is Annihilation. I think I got this off of eBay, I believe. Yeah. So this is Annihilation exclusive strategy guide book. But and I got Annihilation Kingdoms official strategy guidebook. And I got Battle Tactics one, yeah. But I'll tell you which one I have, so. So you're asking, but what is Annihilation though? Well, I'll show you right here. Okay. Oh, I expand this so you can see what's going on here. All right. I like that these stop showing up though. Thank you. I know, I want to stop these showing up. Okay. Anyway, let's see. So this is, so I'm on strategywiki.org. This one's about toenail, and I'm on the Annihilation one. So, yep. There's a story about Annihilation here. Yeah, you see, there's, yeah, so there's two factions on Annihilation. I'll skip that. So, the two factions are, yeah, Core and Arm. Yeah, yeah, for here, yeah, yeah, Flesh Machines. So that's a story. You can hear about the intro. There's the gameplay whole Annihilation right here. So here's the campaign. So I'll talk about the core campaign first, since the core campaign I believe it is the campaign that would take place before the ARM campaign. Yeah. So on the core campaign, you start on, you'll start on a Cybertron like a Cyberform like planet called let me skip this. How come this thing keeps popping up? Anyway, I was going to say is you start on a Cyberformed planet called Core Prime, and after that, once you do these battles over here and these missions here, you'll get to the next planet you'll go to is Brathroom, and then you'll get to Gate of Aqueous Minor. You'll get to the Aqueous Minor planet. After that, after you do these battles here in Brathroom. Again, come on, same thing. Go away. Anyway, let's keep going. So after Aqueous Minor, you don't have to do these battles here. Or yeah, and a traitor. The traitor you have to capture. Well, you have to capture Zeus. That's why. And then you get to this thing. This planet called Rougepilt, which is a Mars-like planet with meteor showers. And then you get to Nipelago after that, and then Angus, which is the moon of Core Prime. Sorry, come on, I don't. Or sorry, come on, go away. Sorry, so Angus, sorry. I meant to say, so Angus is a moon of Hyperion. Yeah, it's a moon of Hyperion, not Core Prime. Sorry about that. So Angus is a moon of Hyperion. Yeah, so Angus is the moon of Hyperion, and then after that, yeah, not Core Prime, so it's Hyperion. So, and then you get to the planet called Hyperion after that, and then yeah, it says right here Hyperion's final stand. So yeah, it would be destruction for Hyperion. Hyperion is more like an Earth-like planet, so I would just say that. Now on the arm, which is right here, you'll start on Hyperion, and then you'll get to, and then the next planet you'll get to is Thasian, more like a beach-like planet. Yeah, and then Tuggerverse 4 was more like a desert-like planet with hills and stuff. And then Brathroom, and then Rougepilt, and then Dump, which is the moon of Core Prime anyway. And then you get to Core Prime, and then you will. and then you'll get to the destruction of Core Prime, because I call it Core Prime Apocalypse. Yeah. So, yeah, you can learn about the units with Annihilation here. And here's Core Tendency. So Core Tendency was made after the Ricoton Annihilation. This is the first the Core Tendency's first expansion pack for Tone Annihilation. You know, here's some more multiplayer maps, and here's some structures and more units. All right, so on the Core Tendency, it's just more like expanded after after ARM 1, because after Core 1 they just and they just went back to the continue of the ARM campaigns. That's why. So after the ARM 1, Core Tendency happened. So on both campaigns you'll start on Hydros, and then building seaplanes, and then you're building, and you knew think it would be seaplanes. That's why. They close that seaplanes, yeah. And you'll start building hovercraft on Luge. But once you get to Tumbler, Tumbler, what happened is that I know they would want you to build like mines and stuff, but you don't have to do that. To me, I don't build mines on there. I just to start building more like vehicles and K-bots mostly. The new K-bots and vehicles. That's what I do anyway. Even you do get new K-bots, but not very much new vehicles. So. And then you get to Gildis. So. Just now the difference is on the core, you have to protect the implosion of ice. On the arm, you have to destroy it. And there is also a bonus mission right here, Krogoth encounter, when you have to destroy Krogoths. Yeah, you will play as the arm, and you have to and then you have to destroy, and then you have to do is destroy all the Krogoths, but you also have to destroy the Krogoth gantries as well. So it's one of the longest campaign. It's one of the longest missions. It's the longest mission to play. One of the longest ones, yeah. So yeah, it's a bonus mission. So I would. Yeah, if you wanted to play I would suggest you to play Krogoth Encounter maybe after you finish Core Tendency, but because Krogoth Encounter is pretty hard anyway. That's why. After Core Tendency became Battle Tactics, and you got these ones here. You got the very short missions, you got the very short missions campaign, the short missions campaign, the medium missions campaign, and the long missions campaign. So, I would I would recommend you to play Battle Tactics first before Core Tendency, but it's up to you anyway. But it's up to you, if you want to play this game. Now, you don't have to play this game if you don't want to, but it's up to you though anyway. So. Now, what about Annihilation and Kingdoms? So let's see. So what So does the game called Holy Annihilation have to do anything with the Bible though? Let's see. So the game Holy Annihilation and the Bible both have contains what they conflicts of destruction. The context of purpose strategy. Holy Annihilation, a real-time strategy game, prevails on the war between two factions, the core and the arm, driven by the conflict of transferring consciousness to machines. The game's narrative focuses on the consequences of this war and there's total annihilation of worlds. The Bible, on the other hand, tells a story about God's creation, humanity's fall, redemption through Jesus Christ, through the narratives of the judgment and destruction, like the great flood days, like the flood days of Noah. While total annihilation depicts on human-made conflict, like a public consequences, and the Bible narrative of destruction often carry moral of the spiritual lesson. So here's a ternary breakdown. So, well, both of them. See, total annihilation is the setting of the two factions, arm in arm, looking at the war of the countless worlds and on the conflict. The war is fueled by core's desire to transfer consciousness into machines, needing a structural survival dominance, and then themes. The game to explore themes of technological advancement, of consequences, unchecked first, of the complete annihilation. Gameplay is the structure of the opponents, the struggle to get like control according to the game and various sources. The Bible is the setting, is the complete creation of history of the beginning, time, and the end of the world according to the biblical sources. And the conflict is the difference coming between God and humanity, between good and evil, and humanity itself, the instance of his sin, so to enjoy the triumph of good over evil, and narratives of this destruction. And the destruction of the great flood is this, and the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, which is examples of God's judgment and where is a sin according to the religious scholars. So both nations of the Bible have contained narratives of destruction. That's why we're total annihilation focus on the futuristic human conflict. Well, the Bible we're going to explore border of creation and fall redemption. As the Bible's narrative of destruction is, and its word examples, God's judgments, whereas the game presents straightforward prediction of warfare and its consequences. So, yeah. So that's what total annihilation is like. You know. Now, what about total annihilation and kingdoms? Well, total annihilation and kingdoms, you know, this game, because we haven't talked about this one yet. Well, total annihilation and kingdoms is a spin-off of total annihilation. It came out in 1999. So, let me show you what total annihilation and kingdoms is like then. Alright, so here's total annihilation. And yeah, this one, if you click on that, it says it doesn't exist. If you try clicking on that, it says the page does not exist. But here's Toenail Nation Kingdoms right here. It's a strategy. It's another game. And yeah. So it's made on June 1999. And it got its expansion pack called the Iron Plague. So. So, you see, can I see the name of the levels? Okay, so on Nation Kingdoms you got four main factions. You got Ermon, Vruna, Charles, and Jean. The fifth faction was added to the Ironplex expansion. Yeah, and it's called Creon anyway. Here's the Toenail Nation wiki, so. I guess we could take a look at that. But I want to take a look at the missions here. The name. So here's the name of all the missions for Toenail Nation and Kingdoms. You know, I will start with it. You know, now I would play the demo. Now I installed some other custom campaign, there's a demo campaign. There's a custom demo campaign that I played for Toenail Nation and Kingdoms. Anyway, you know. But I'll get to that one, so. So yeah, there's like about 48 levels. For this, for the original Toenail Nation and Kingdoms campaign is called the book. Oh yeah, the name of this campaign is called the Book of Darien. And here's the name of the levels right here. I'm not gonna name them all because there's too many of them, but you can. Here and there's the next one's called Iron Plague. Now the Iron Plague was made in March 2000, and it was made the expansion pack called it, and it can do a new faction called Creon, so that's why. So let's see. But before we can get to this, so what is Toenail Nation Kingdoms? Well, before we can talk about this, let's see. So Toenail Nation and Kingdoms is kind of like regular Toenail Nation, but it's medieval. And yes, it does have witchcraft, but it's witchcraft in a video game. That's why. Yeah. So you can see right here, it says, it's a spin-off of Toenail Nation. We'll talk about this. So, it takes place in a world on some planet called Darien. Yeah, they call the world of Darien. That's what it is. So yeah, so it says right here, the Stumping of Four Monarchs, the land of, in the land of Darien. So yeah, Elson, that's the leader of Aramon. Locken, which is the leader of Teros. Corinna, which is the leader of Fruna. Thersha, the leader of Jean. And the fun disappearance of Gargias is there. Yeah. These are called and these are all the monarchs, by the way. I'll get to the Creon's monarch later, so. Yeah, you need to play all 4 factions at various times. So yeah, you don't get to choose a faction. You play this one, and it's on the storyline, so. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and Creon's monarch is called the Sage, which I'll get to later on anyway. So. So now let's get to the Iron Plague. So the Iron Plague is when they get to the new fiction of Creon. Yeah. So on the Iron Plague, there's like about 25 missions of the single player campaign called the Iron Plague. And it's with the original game, yes. But it says right here, there's a downloadable hidden mission within the campaign that needs a population outside the game to be played. You see, this hidden mission right here will involve Creon being victorious instead of defeated. Now, this level right here, this hidden mission that involves Creon being victorious instead of being defeated, well, this is a downloadable mission you might have to do. You might have to do it. Yeah, I have that level. First of all, yes, 13 something. I do have that level. It says, however, this mission is somewhat non-canonical to the kingdom's storyline. So this hidden mission is downloadable, but yeah. And I have this hidden mission where you have to do where it involves Creon being victorious. Yeah. I'll tell you what the name of this level is. So it's called Father's Day. Alright? And you can also call it Creon Glory as well, but I think the name of the level is called Father's Day. Yeah. I mean, you have to play it, so on the last level of 29 Kingdoms on the Iron Plague, you play as all 4 factions. You have to destroy the Sage. Now, on the hidden mission, including that would be in you have to download, which will be, and then now the hidden mission, the hidden Iron Plague mission you have to download, which is the one called Father's Day. Well, that includes Creon being victorious instead of defeated. Well, I'll tell you about that campaign. I'll tell you about that mission. In that mission, you have to play as Creon, and you have to fight against all 4 factions in order to win. Yeah, and yeah, you have to fight against all 4 factions. You have to destroy everything and you have to destroy everything in the in the map in order to win. Yeah. And that's how Creon became victorious. And I guess that'll be how Creon became victorious. Yeah. Yeah. You know, it does have an outro. You know, when Creon becomes defeated, but does not. But the problem is that the campaign, the expansion does not have an outro where Creon becomes victorious. So guys, if you can let me know in the comments below, you know, I would like to know. I would like you guys to know your answer. What would happen if Creon becomes victorious? You know. Instead of defeated. I would like to know your answer about this because so that way because I would like to find out a way if any way if there's to make a good if there's any way to make a good intro for this someday. Yeah, because there's no intro for this involving anyway. But that would be pretty cool. So yeah. Yeah. Am I gonna make any videos of me playing these games? Not anytime soon. I can't get them to work on OBS right now, so. But I've been playing them, so that's why. Maybe later I'll get them to work on OBS. Maybe later. I don't know any other platform where I can play this, so maybe later I'll play them. Maybe later I might make a video of myself playing them, but I'll do it later. So. Some other time, because right now I'm busy going back to school. That's why, and I'm making videos of me playing already, and I'm making videos of me already playing 2 games already, with just Unreal Gold and Unreal Tournament. So, and I'll talk about those games after next video anyway. So I'll show you where to compare the Battle of Annihilation and Kingdoms. Okay. Yeah. So, here. So, exploring the connection between Annihilation and Kingdoms and biblical themes. So, Annihilation and Kingdoms is a real-time strategy game shared on board thematic similarities of biblical narratives, particularly relating to destruction kingdoms. Morality, though, it's an important note of the thematic links of the direct biblical analogies. So here's the connections that can be explored. So conflict and Annihilation. The game's Annihilation highlights the destruction warfare and biblical accounts of the judgment, news of the great flood, and destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah describe widespread annihilation and destruction. Now the kingdoms and power struggles. So Annihilation and Kingdoms features a narrative centered on 4 sibling monarchs who recall the land of Darien following of the father's disappearance. This resonates the biblical portrayal of the various kingdoms, their rise and fall, the struggles of the powers as seen in the books like Daniel, which predicts the between of the empires of kingdoms. Alright, so magic and science or morality of the game's story of division of among the siblings of the embracing magic of the fall of the path, science of course. It's really echoing biblical contrast between God's false commands using paths of deviate, but potentially leading to negative consequences. So yeah, there's that. And then there's biblical creation of the annihilation, which is the biblical concept of annihilationism, but of utterly destroyed in hell, rather, of eternal as a torment. This is different destruction debate, but this is a point. Remember the Annihilation Kingdoms is a total Annihilation Kingdoms is a work of fiction, and he leans over imagination, including that experimental parallels between religious and mythological narratives, including those that are found in the Bible. So. So those are the games. So those are the games I still play. You know. So Annihilation and Annihilation and Kingdoms. I love these games, but I love the Bible more. But I love the Bible more. Because I believe the Bible. Now let me tell you something. You don't have to play these games if you don't want to. I'm just showing you these games so you can learn about what these games about. If you don't like these games, you know what? That's fine. You don't have to like them. The Bible does not talk about these games. But I'm just pointing these games out. I'm just pointing out these games so you can play them if you want to. If you don't want to play them, that's okay. You don't have to. I'm just showing you these games just in case if you want, as an activity, to play in your, free time, Yeah, Annihilation is a great game, and so is Annihilation and Kingdoms, but and I've been playing these games ever since, yeah. And I started with the Annihilation franchise with Annihilation, and I started playing Annihilation and Kingdoms later. So I think I started playing Annihilation, I was like about 14, and then I started playing Annihilation and Kingdoms. So I was like about I think it was like about. It was like when I was like about 22 years old. So I would say like around 2006. Yeah, around 2016 is when I started playing Annihilation and Kingdoms. So yeah. So I didn't get to the other game until later on, but that's okay. But I have both games now, so I play both of them. But yeah. But yeah, Annihilation and Kingdoms was made in 1999. So, but what happened to the Cave Dog Entertainment though? Well, Cave Dog Entertainment got shut down in 2000, but the Annihilation franchise still survived. But the Annihilation franchise still survived. There's still communities. There's still people that play these games. I think you can play. Yeah, you can. Yes, and you can still play against. You can still play these games with other people. With other people on Game Ranger, because I know both Annihilation and Annihilation Kingdoms do have multiplayer. Because multiplayer multiplayer is harder than doing single player, but yeah, but doing single player is just going to help you get ready for multiplayer mostly, but it's not really all that great, because because playing Annihilation and Annihilation Kingdoms multiplayer is hard than playing against the computer. So because when you're playing against another person, then you have to figure out what the person is going to be doing. That's why. So yeah, it is harder to play against another person. But when you're playing against the computer, it's easier. So that's why. So that's why. So yeah, you also play this on multiplayer. So if you want to do that, but I used to play. I used to do these on single player because So, because I'm not good at, because I'm not really good at playing these of multiplayer. That's why. So. You know. And if you don't like this game, you know what? That's okay. I'm still trying to be respectful here, and and that's fine. I believe the Bible, and the way to get saved is to believe in is to believe in Jesus. Is to trust Jesus Christ. So, yeah, Jesus Christ is the only way to heaven. So, that's why. So, I'm not, So these games are just for something to do for fun. Annihilation and Annihilation games. These are just games are just to play for fun. You don't have to play these games. It's just something. It's just a game that I play. If you don't like them, you know what? That's okay. But I play these games and I have fun with it, so. And I was trying to get saved according to the Bible. Alright, so pointing false religions that damn souls to hell. When you go to heaven, speak, all Lord Jesus Christ, salvation is by faith alone and grace in Jesus alone. And when you say by easy, it's the truth, meaning you can't lose your salvation. So by easy, by easy believes that salvation is easy to do is believe in Jesus Christ for salvation. And I'll talk about next video is it's called What Does the Bible Say About the Unreal franchise? Well, I'll talk about the next video. Alright? Yeah, because I have to go right now. So hopefully this video gets you more about the game, about these two games, Total Annihilation and Total Annihilation Kingdoms. You can let me know on the comments below if you like this game, or if you can like these two games or not. If you don't like them, that's okay. You can let me know in the comments below about that anyway. Because, I'm just trying to be respectful, that's why. And I'll talk about the Unreal franchise, and I'll talk about the games from the Unreal franchise next video anyway, because I have to go right now. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Say goodbye. Adios. Zaijian.